The New York Jets still stink. Unfortunately, this offense was unwatchable. The defense was Swiss cheese, and even the special team started to wane a little bit in this one as they fall to 2-8 on the season, losing 27-14 to New England in a game where you feel like it should have been closer with a lot of mistakes and missed opportunities by the Jets. But you also feel as though the Patriots were just toying with them in preseason mode and could have blown the brakes off this game anytime they wanted to. And my goodness, it's another game. It is the third game in their last 4 games where the New York Jets have had less than 30 passing yards halfway through the third quarter. You just can't live like that. We've seen games where they could do the rugby offense and get a team on that first drive and drive it down the field. You can't sustain that, obviously, in the NFL in the year 2025, particularly against a good run defense like the Patriots have. Um, my goodness, it's terrible. And then AD Mitchell was putrid in his debut, right? The Fields actually hangs in there and throws a dime on a go ball and it bounces off his hands. He had another drop later in the game. It was really so much meat was left on the bone with 4 misses between Fields and Mitchell combined. You had the drop on the go ball by Mitchell. You had Fields skipping one at his feet on a 2nd and 10 that he would have had a first down. The Jets have to punt there. There's the play drawn up by Engstrand where they get him on the rub route, and it's like that rub route to a wheel to Mitchell, who ends up getting his hands on it, but you have to put that ball on the other shoulder. There's so much space there. That should have been an easy 30-yard pitch and catch that you hit that with your buddies in the parking lot after 10 Bud Lights. You connect on that pitch and catch. And then the drop down in the red zone where they ended up scoring on the guy falling down, and Mechie scores there anyway. But that was tough for Mitchell, and then Rucker has the drop to end the game. So definitely not a lot of favors were done by the supporting cast for Fields, but at the same time, the Fields experiment, it needs to be packed up. There's no point in really playing him anymore. And at this point, I think you probably go to Tyrod for a couple of games so you can evaluate your young additions as pass catchers, and then he'll probably get injured, and then maybe you get 4 games of Brady Cook. Right? What what else do you have to see from Justin Fields? There's nothing else to see. Willie Colon on SNY post game said he's not an NFL quarterback. Unfortunately, he's playing the worst football he's ever played. He's completely regressed. A late fumble that was a killer. There was low snaps all night by Myers. That snap almost skidded off the ground. Fields should still recover it, but low snaps all night. Ugly, ugly offense in a game where you could see some stuff with Engstrand where it doesn't mean that Engstrand is good just because he's working with highly limited players at quarterback and at the skill positions. But what they have an efficient rushing attack against the best run defense in the NFL, and guys are schemed open without Garrett Wilson, with your wide receiver 1 and 2, Mechie and AD Mitchell weren't on the team a month ago. And the guys are getting schemed open. You have to hit some passes and you have to catch some passes. And it really just comes down to that. I thought Fields had a very good day running the football. It was one of his better, more aggressive, decisive days as a runner. It's just when this team drops. I think the most frustrating thing about Fields to me is the refusal to throw the ball past the sticks from a clean pocket on 3rd down. 3rd and 14, we're going to dump it off. And then the Patriots are dropping 8 in coverage. We're going to do a dump off for 3 yards. When you're 2 and 7, just throw it to AD Mitchell. Let him drop another one, right? What do you have to lose? It just doesn't seem as though Fields like the situation of the game, even not really being able to run tempo at the end. The situation of the game, he's just not there. It's not there with Fields, and I know they'll lose games with Tyrod. We all know that. No Jet fan No Jet fan thinks otherwise, but at some point, you just don't wanna you're sick of seeing it, right? At some point, you're sick of seeing it. You wanna see something else. It feels like with Zach Wilson, where it's like, "I don't know what else we got, but I don't wanna watch this anymore." Right? That's how it feels. Yeah, brutal drops. And then you got Steve Wilks. Somebody is wide open on every play. Someone was wide open on every single play in this defense. Now, obviously, you traded away your 2 top players, and then AZ Thomas, who became a starter for you, immediately gets injured, so that you're not dealing with a bevy of talent. But man, it was so easy for Drake May and the Patriots. Anytime they ran zone, Stephon Diggs or Hunter Henry were wide open in a soft spot. Anytime they ran man, they just couldn't hang on those crossers and those man beaters. There was just somebody open on every play. And the blitzes just suck. Steve, that's the most frustrating thing about Steve Wilks. His blitz packages are terrible. It's almost impressive how the Jets rush 7 and all their guys find someone to block them. It looks like they're doing the opposite. Like they're trying to find a guy. Oh, wait, no one's blocking me. Let me find someone. Okay, there we go. They all just muddle together. There's no disguise, there's no surprise. And it just gets picked up. The quarterback isn't even hit most of the time. And then someone's just wide open. So at that point, it's like you might as well just drop in coverage. If you're not going to get home, drop in coverage, right? These blitz packages have not worked all year. All year. And in this game, I think this was definitely a game where they missed Quinnen Williams in the middle because Quinnen only had whatever one like 2 sacks on the year so far. He wasn't having a great pass rush season, but he could push the pocket back a little bit where JJ and Will McDonald were getting some wins but May could just step right up to the pocket, like in the guard center guard combo had not been collapsed at all. So May could just step right up into the pocket and do some jump throws and get the ball away. But this, yeah, this is hard to point out. Besides the offensive line and Breece Hall, John Mechie, hard to say who had a good game in this one. This was ugly, but it's to be expected. That's what's weird about the Jets. It's like you know what it's going to be. They're playing the Patriots. What it was a 12.5 point spread. They lose by 13. How about that, right? People know. The gamblers know. You're on the road against arguably the best team in the AFC. We lose by 2 touchdowns. It's not surprising, but it still is annoying when you watch it. It still kind of is annoying when you watch them suck every week. Yeah, but and then you go back and now you look at the schedule again and you're like, okay, we're back to how many wins is this team going to have? Maybe one more. They're not going to beat the Ravens. They're not going to beat the Falcons. I mean, they probably won't be favored in another game because Saints is on the road. And Tyler Shook can go for 285 yards and have a somewhat of a passing offense. So, yeah, I mean, I would have them make a change at quarterback. Does it really mean a ton? No, but I'd rather Tyrod Taylor throw for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks and lose. And Arian Smith and Mitchell and Mechie get a little bit more work, even though Mitchell struggled mightily today. Danger Zone, thanks, man. Have a Bud Light on me, Tyrod on 10 days prep. If not, I don't know, man. I feel suffocated by Fields. And we have, yeah, of course. And it's either what the Jets, what they always do is for most of the time, they have a bad quarterback. But the defenders of that bad quarterback, the Jets love giving them ammunition for defending them, right? Because their weapons are not good. But man, Fields, it's just you have no confidence on 3rd down. You have no confidence that he's going to be able to do it unless he scrambles and runs. And Michael Clemons in when they actually put him on defensive interior, he might be able to stay in the league, but him on the edge, it's not setting the edge, it's not the pass rush. That him on the edge in space in the run, he can't hang out there. He just can't hang. Tyler Barron made a decent play. Malachi Moore, there was a sequence where it was like Tyler Barron tackle for loss, Malachi Moore pass breakup, Stevens had a really nice pass breakup on the deep one. Like we're getting worked by Jarvis Brownlee. Jarvis Brownlee needs to be investigated by the FBI for this one. Like what was that, man? He turned into like the Kyle Wilson of Buster Screens out there, man. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. probably the worst jet on the field. Anytime there was a flag on the field, you're like, okay, it's gonna be number 29. And then we're getting worked by Matt Collins. Matt Collins is taking turns on our corners. Oh man. I did. Yeah, we're it's not like the Patriots have these elite weapons, but it was just so easy for them passing. I think Drake May started off 12 of 12. He had like 120 yards before he threw his first incompletion. That's too easy. 25 of 34 for 281 yards. Refs have a 145% call accuracy versus us. 0 misses. I don't even remember if there was any. I think Will McDonald gets held a lot, but I can't remember any calls that were super egregious in this one. Maybe I'm forgetting one. Thought there was like a phantom holding on the Quincy sack. There was a phantom holding, but I think they got off the field. Or no, that was when the Pats missed the field goal on that one. That was the last possession of the first half. And in a game where there was only 2 possessions in the first quarter, long Jets touchdown drive, long Patriots touchdown drive. So when you have those mistakes, when you have those drops and those missed throws, even something like the intentional grounding, that's the end of the possession. The Jets can't get out of a 2nd and 20. A 2nd and 20 is a death sentence because they do a give up draw and a give up dump off and they punt. Our best passer tonight was our wide receiver 6. Yeah, they tried that. What was that? Was it Isaiah Williams who got that shot to throw it back to Fields? Who's worse, Zach or Fields? Oh my god. Yeah, Breece, this last couple of games, Breece has done such a good job of turning 2 yards into 5 yards, which has been something that's been a weakness of his throughout his career. And he's been so explosive when he's at his best that he can get away with that. But I think he's turned himself into a pretty well-rounded back. If Justin Fields can't throw with his talent and speed, what position can he play? Well, who is the dude? Who is the other Ohio State QB? Pryor? Terrell Pryor became a wide receiver. Remember he cooked Darrelle Revis, old Darrelle Revis in the season opener of 2016, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Maybe I'm wrong. Thought that happened. Oh yeah, the intentional grounding. Yeah, because Fields is outside of the pocket, so he's allowed to do that as long as he gets the ball past the line of scrimmage. So yeah, that was lame. See, here's my I think you should be able to challenge anything. You only get 2 challenges. There's so many commercials. They run commercials like in between plays, they sneak a 10-second commercial. So I don't care if there's another commercial or if the game takes 30 seconds longer. You should be able to challenge anything. You should be able to go back and say, no, that was a bad call. Why not? Then we don't have to. Then we don't have to. Then we don't have to talk about it. We can stop complaining about it because you get two. Go back and nope, he was outside the pocket to pick up that flag. You should be able to do that. Why not? 80 cooked versus 0. Yeah, Mitchell can get Mitchell. You can see the movement skills. Like Mitchell can move. Mitchell can get open. Mitchell's like his stop and start ability and his hip fluidity for his height is awesome. But man, those were a couple tough drops, and obviously he hasn't had a ton of practices, so he's not going to have the best chemistry with this quarterback and all that. But you got to catch the ball. But that being said, keep giving him more targets because clearly there's some talent to work with there. So try it. Obviously, the staff just thinks Arian Smith is not ready at all because they're playing guys who just got here and Isaiah Williams over him. So that is what it is. That's unfortunate. There was a I appreciate the super chat. Pooch guy. There was a pass that Field should have led AD. Yeah, it was the pass on the wheel route. That should have been a big explosive play. I don't know if they're done with Arian Smith. I just think they don't think they think he's kind of far away. Again, I don't like from Tanner Engstrand's perspective. I don't. What can he? What can you do? Can you make it AD Mitchell catch the ball? Can you make Fields throw it better? I don't know. The Pats don't even have that much talent on their roster. Yeah, QB and coach. QB and coach is, 2/3 of the game. Your roster is the other third. So, yeah, I mean, if you gave the Jets Mike Vrabel and Drake May, they'd be fine. they'd be fine. The Patriots defense is also better coached than the Jets defense, I would argue. The announcer said that the Patriots defense is starting 8 guys that have been like cut. Like, who are the household names on the Patriots defense? They made some investments on their interior defensive line. They have 2 highly paid defensive tackles. But past that, and Christian Gonzalez, and then what? It's a bunch of guys who've been thrown together and are well coached. Like that's my one overreaction for this year that I don't think is an overreaction is that the Jets need to have a new defensive coordinator next year. Right, and they'll have a different quarterback, but I think that's already been, like, decided. I don't think they're gonna we can't watch they can't have Justin Fields be the opening day quarterback next year. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. So that's kinda already done. And then besides that, in terms of significant changes, there won't really be any in terms of leadership, but that's the one where, like, what has Steve Wilks shown you? Uh, the defense is very competitive against the run. I'll give them credit for that. Their early down run defense is pretty good. It's the best it's actually been in a while for a Jets defense, but they suck. They just can't rush the passer. They can't blitz. They struggle to tackle. They struggle with penalties, and the coverage busts are so consistent. The coverage, but guys just being wide open, and you don't even know who is supposed to cover him because there's just no one near him. It just happens too frequently. And I think you're starting to see why Steve Wilkes never has the same job for more than a year in a row. So that'd be my one overreaction. Besides that, it is what it is. We got to just ride out the rest of this year and hope that some of the young players play well. And one of these receiver pops. I like Mechie. Mechie seems to be able to catch, which is pretty important. Yeah, we did see a proof of life for Tyler Barron. Tyler Barron exists. He made a nice play. I thought it was Jermaine. When he first did it, and then I was like, wait a minute, Tyler Johnson. Why is it Will McDonald on the field goal team? I don't know. I was hoping to see Will McDonald lined up across, 35-year-old Morgan Moses on some passing downs. But I know they like Jermaine on that side, but thought it might be worth a shot. Mendoza. We're talking about Mendoza now. I don't know. Do the Jets win this game with Fernando Mendoza? That's the question. That is the question. Does rookie Mendoza win that game? Yeah, the interior defensive line got nothing. Nothing today. No push in the pass rush. Even on the touchdown to Mechie, Fields took forever to get the pass out. Yeah, well, he takes forever on first and second down to get the ball out. And then on 3rd and 10, he immediately gets it out and checks it down, 10 yards short of the line to gain, which is frustrating. For sure. I'd rather watch AD Mitchell drop the ball than Alan Lazard. I think we can all agree there. Trade idea. Trade Justin. Wait, whoa. The Jets are giving up. No. Jets are giving up a first-round pick for Kyler Murray. No way. I reject this trade idea. Will Campbell and Membu are studs. That offensive line class is awesome. Membu's great. Will Campbell looks awesome. Calvin Banks has been phenomenal. So good tackle class. And this upcoming one is supposed to suck. So those teams will probably be happy that they got that taken care of this past year. Yeah. Yeah. Call of Duty. Do you think we'll extend Breece? Well, I think you turned down a 4th-round pick because you plan on it. A 4th-round pick is more valuable than Breece for 9 games in a lost season. So I would hope so. Breece is good. Breece is the best player on our offense when Wilson is out. BJF versus Jake Asman in an MMA match. Hey, no fighting. Violence. Why? Well, first of all, why are me and Jake fighting? I don't know. I didn't know I was fighting with Jake. But either way, if we are, violence is not the answer. I hope the Jets don't reach for a QB this draft. Well, is to me the top two. One of the top two wouldn't be reaching. Now, if Moore goes back to school, beyond that, yeah, it's kind of a two QB class for me, most likely. Um, you might not have to tank. Like they might not have like it's gonna be what it is. Where is the win? They'll probably win, but the thing is they'll randomly be in the Jaguars game. You know, I think that Atlanta is gonna destroy them. Atlanta's not good, but Atlanta is a terrible matchup for them because I think I don't know, just Drake London and is going to give him the business and Bijan Robinson, the way that the Falcons can run the ball. And I think Jeff Ulbrich is gonna he's gonna cook up a heater against Justin Fields, the way that they blitz and they rush the passer, how aggressive they are defensively. I think Atlanta could blow out the Jets. That one could get ugly. So you're probably looking at the Saints and the Dolphins. Maybe the Jets win one of those games and they go 3-14, but that still might not be good enough to get a top two pick somehow because the rest of these teams suck so bad. Michael Clemons, I'm sure, will keep Lamar contained. Yeah, and if he can't do it, Tyler Barron is right behind him. Hopefully, the Saints and Browns are dumb and don't draft a QB. The Saints, I could see shook, maybe convincing them not to. The Browns, they don't even want to play Shadur. So if they don't want to play him over Dylan Gabriel, what do they think of him? The Browns, I think, are definitely going to take a QB. Maybe the Saints don't. If the Bills rest their starters, maybe, but yeah, the Bills might be playing for something. The Bills might be playing for the playoff spot, honestly. If they lose to Tampa, they'll be 6-4 and they'll be on the fringe, but they'll end up making it. Yeah, but they drafted him. I don't get it. Why did they even? Why it doesn't? It's just a weird thing. The Browns and Sanders. It's a weird situation. Yeah, I did see that. Did you see Clemons rush the passer from the Mike linebacker spot? He's so unathletic. Hey, I think that play worked, not necessarily because of Clemons, but I think it did work. Trade Garrett Wilson for 2 1s. They're not gonna do that though. If they wanted to do that, they probably would have done it at the deadline. I wonder which QB we will destroy next. Well, that's what's annoying is like we made Fields worse. We made Fields worse. We made him so much worse. He wasn't good, but we've unfortunately made him worse. Do we replace Sauce in the draft? Well, I think ideally Sauce is replaced by AZ Thomas, not in the sense that he's going to make an all pro team, but in the sense that he'll be your other starting corner. Brandon Stevens and AZ Thomas. Desperately need a QB coach. Charles London slander? You don't believe in Charles London as our future QB guru? It's crazy. Would a rookie Zach Wilson succeed if we gave him this team to work with? No. Yeah, Stevens made a great recovery and punched that ball out late. That was a very good play. I like Steven. Stevens is always Stevens is physical. I like Stevens. Is he great? No, but Stevens is fine. He's far from this team's biggest problem. An all pro corner is an all pro corner, but the picks can be anything, even an all pro corner. Yeah, well, first of all, yeah, I get it. But Sauce isn't going to be an all pro corner this year, right? So that only works if he's an all pro corner in the future. You have to weigh that against what you could get now. But you should 2 first round picks and then the cap space within the time frame that those 2 first round picks are on their rookie deal. You're essentially getting 3 players, right? Theoretically, because it's like 30 million minus the money that the rookies are making, which will be, whatever. Let's call it $15 million difference, and then 2 picks. So 15 million, you sign a starter. 2 picks, you draft 2 starters. So 3 players versus 1. And if Sauce isn't an all pro and he's still he's like the 8th best corner in the league, you could definitely get 3 players that are more valuable than that if you obviously use the resources wisely. I would get that logic more if it was just 1 first round pick that they got, you know? O-line played good today. Yeah, I think Simpson is definitely not as good as he was last year. They were a little late on a couple of passing off some blocks, but very rarely are there guys just losing reps, like just getting their ass whooped. It very rarely happens with this O line. The O line is pretty solid. I would agree with that. Yeah, anytime the opposing quarterback throws it, you just expect it to go to a wide open guy. Timmons having an awesome year at guard. Timmons should stay at guard. Yeah, Simpson's been mid this year at best. Yeah, I can Tony Adams not coming away with that pick. The Jets still don't have a pick, which is a record. When are they going to get their first pick? It's unbelievable. We didn't look totally inept. If the receivers didn't drop seven, I don't know if it was seven passes, but it was at least three. I would say probably three, right? Rucker and then two by Mitchell, I think. Fields finishes 22 of 26 for 238 yards and leads the team with 67 yards and scored twice and is still. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're you're adding an extra like 120 yards, 122 yards of drop yardage. I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. But the point is, Colin, is Fields isn't a good starting quarterback. So, like, we could, people could spat about whatever they want. Jet fans are dumb. We're going to ruin the next quarterback. There's no God. Like, we could say whatever we want, but that doesn't make Justin Fields a starting NFL quarterback. And he won't be next year when he's released by the Jets, right? The league eventually speaks on these things that we argue about, like with Zach Wilson. He's not even a backup. Um, the field was available 2 years ago. He was available for a 6th round pick. He went to the Steelers. They benched him because they couldn't have a good passing offense. Um, right. And then he was a free agent. And probably the Jets was like the only spot that would guarantee him to be the week one starter. So maybe the fan base is dumb, but you have to understand that you're also going to be disagreeing with every other NFL franchise when he is not an opening day starter next year and probably not even a serious competition to be one, right? So maybe it's a conspiracy theory against him. It's possible. Or maybe, like 99.999999999% of the population, he's just not one of the few humans on earth who can start at quarterback for an NFL team. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. The Jet, yeah, we know the Jets suck, man. What was his record before that? What's the totality of his record? Zach Wilson was 6-3 at one point. You could pick a stretch of any games. Kenny Pickett was 14-10 with the Steelers. He sucks. Who cares? It means nothing. It means nothing. They can't pass protect. All right, now we're just Now we're going off the realm. You've lost us. You've lost us, Colin. I'm good with Colin. I'm sorry. I don't block a lot of people. He didn't break the guidelines, but come on, man. I can't we gotta be told that the Jets can't pass block and Justin Fields is good. That's not a real person. That's a bot. That's a troll, right? Can we agree that's a troll? Was that soft of me to block him? I don't want to be told that Justin Fields is amazing and the Jets pass protection sucks. It's too late for that, man. I gotta be up at 5:45 in the morning. I can't do it, man. I can't be told that. I can't be told that Justin Fields is great and our offensive line can't block. Oh man. Sorry, Colin. We love you. Look at all three QBs from that draft. Yeah, that draft was terrible. Who was the best one? Lawrence still, I guess, right? Yeah, like that. Uh, I don't know. Like I try to think because I'm like I've had athletes that I've liked, but like, how do you go off the deep end to where you just nothing is a one player's fault? It's always a quarterback too. Like nothing is their fault, and it'll be the worst. Like the worse the player is, the more crazy the people get about it. It's very bizarre. Like Justin Fields is rich. Justin Fields is rich, man. I feel sorry for him. You got guaranteed $30 million by the Jets, man. What is he, 26 years old? He'll be fine. Don't gotta do it, Colin. Yeah, obviously. The Jets quarterback is not on the team right now. I That seems highly likely for sure. Why is that doing that? Stop. Why is that doing that? There we go. Still sacrilege to say Rodgers is washed in this fan base. Oh, come on. We have to retire. We're retiring that topic. Gosh. Should we say, talk about solid too? With Joe Douglas? Yeah. Yeah, he was hanging out in Dubai when he agreed to terms with the Jets. He'll be fine. Why did Rucker get the last target instead of Mason Taylor? Yeah, I was wondering, did Mason Taylor get banged up? Um, by the way, Rucker and Mason Taylor, indistinguishable. Like you have to wait a second to see which one of them it is every time. One of them has to get a tattoo or something or some sort of mark, grow out their hair. Um, but yeah, Rucker was the guy in 11 personnel on those final few plays. So I don't know what that was. Yeah, May looked like he was just playing catch in his backyard. If I had to ask the Jets QB one thing, I would ask if it's harder to see players quickly and they have green helmets. Yeah, I don't know how much that matters, but same color as the field, I suppose. You think then the opposing team wouldn't see our defenders and we'd have an interception, though, right? Wouldn't it work both ways? Mike White. Mike White era. Did Mike White have an era? Joey is just leaving the Jets game after driving 5 hours from New Jersey. Oh my goodness. Engstrand tonight, I believe, had a lot of blame for late in the fourth third and 2-run QB keeper. Why the hell are you throwing with this clown QB? Well, you have to throw, right? You have to throw, especially when you're down. So, Engstrand, I'm not saying he's perfect, but I don't know, man. What are you supposed to do with what they're working with right now? I will say, like, I think some design, like on the play where there was the intentional grounding, it seemed like three guys just ran all the way down the field, like three seam routes, and there was no other. But a veteran quarterback like peels out, he sees nothing is there, and he finds a way to flick it at the cleats of the guy in the flat. It's just a normal play. Like, how many times do you see Tom Brady do that? Not saying you have to be Tom Brady to do it, but oh, nothing's there. Rodgers did that last year. I could flick it at the guy's feet. There's nothing there. Move on to the next play. Probably a borderline call, but whatever. That one, yeah, there was like not a lot of good spacing. I don't know if there was a lot of guys open tonight, but there weren't some of those obvious things that we've seen before. Like, why are you? I still think there's some they often get to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and throw the ball. Where I'm like, just run it, and then if you get to 4th and 1 or 4th and less than 1, do the tush push. When this team gets to 3rd and 3, they should be in the mindset of we're going to run the ball twice to get 3 yards and get a first down. Because like, run the ball, 4-yard gain, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, run the ball, 4-yard gain, 3rd and 2, drop back pass with Fields. Like, just run it again. Or do your pass on first down. But besides that, I don't know what else to say about Engstrand tonight. It's quarterback and wide receiver issue tonight, really. Yeah, the option, that pitch was nice. I agree with that. Do I think that the Jets have the right coaches to bring a rookie QB along? I don't know, man. I really don't. Because we can like some Engstrand stuff, but it's all like hypothetical. Like, you'd wish you got to see a functioning offense that the rookie could at least go into, but now you just have to imagine, like, okay, if you take out Fields and put in the rookie, I don't know. I would say the biggest plot positive is the offensive line. The offensive line is good enough to give a rookie a chance. Yeah, Stefon Diggs, Hunter Henry, and Matt Collins in 2025 giving us the business is nasty work. But I'll leave it there. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you wanted the thumbs up on your way out, that'd be cool. And go Jets.